Every thought deserves its moment. This is Overthinking Out Loud. Grab a drink, lean in, and let's overthink it together. Out loud.
It is a beautiful Wednesday.
Wednesdays are our favorite days.
It is our favorite day of the week. But yeah, welcome back. Today we're talking a little bit about everybody's favorite topic.
Let's go.
Body positivity and self-confidence.
Yes, which is good. I think it's such a positive, I know positivity is what we're talking about, but I think that not a lot of people talk about this enough. I think it's like a taboo subject in a lot of people's heads, but how do we flip that narrative of being confident and body positivity, sexual intimacy, positivity, all of that? Like, it's a very real big part of everybody's lives. So I'm excited to talk about it today.
Yeah. And everyone's different too. It is such a like individualized kind of topic.
Mm-hmm.
And so we can speak kind of from our experiences and our like thoughts on it, obviously, but everybody is different.
Yes.
Everybody has their own like self-image, their own body, you know, I guess insecurities.
100.
Insecurities. Yeah.
Everyone's got them. Everyone's got them.
Yeah. So we wanted to kind of like talk through it and have like a little bit of a vulnerable discussion about just how that works for us.
Yeah.
Like how we navigate all of it.
I think like the biggest like aspect of this is, of course, social media. Like with the rise of that, with, you know, like influencers and models and things like that. Like when I was growing up, we didn't like have that. We had MySpace, honestly. Like and you could not and we had like terrible quality photos, like from the stupid like cameras that like only pulled out like a color of your shirt or something. We thought that was like the coolest tech in the world. Like,
I feel like back then it was just more about like what were you wearing versus how your skin looked and the color of your hair and if you had the right eyebrows for for what's trending that year.
There's so many trends and so many like people out there just spewing information that I like. How do you not get caught up in that? How do you not get caught up in like looking at yourself in the mirror and comparing yourself to other people that you've seen on social media that you think are really pretty, and like in comparison all of that, it's like the beauty standards from like I think when I was growing up and as a kid to like the beauty standards now with kids who have grown up with social media are vastly different. Like I've seen the post where it's like me when I was 13 years old and like it's a millennial and you're like brace face, like windbreaker, baggy pants. Like, I don't think they even looked in a mirror before they left the house, right? Versus 13-year-olds now, and it's like they look so grown up. And you're like, I don't know if it's good or it's bad. I'm just saying that it's different.
Yeah, it's weird because I feel like the industry has been trying to evolve, and in a lot of ways that like it has. If I go back and watch America's Next Top Model, it's insane the things they would say to someone. Like there was this girl on the show one season who they considered a plus size model, and she was straight up thin. Like in no way plus size. And it's just crazy. Like and I think, you know, there was that whole in the 90s, it was that like, well, what did they call it? Like cocaine chic or something, or like heroin chic. It was like that style of being incredibly thin and grungy. And so I think while the industry has made a lot of progress in being more inclusive of body types and like in, you know, print ads and in TV shows and movies and stuff, there's still a lot of that, like specifically what you're saying, which is that you look online and it's a 13-year-old who looks like they're 21. Because they are just like wearing all the makeup and they learned how to do like lip liners so that their lips look like they have filler and stuff. And it's trippy.
It's super trippy. Like, I didn't even know what makeup was when I was 13. And I don't know if that's just kind of like how I grew up, or is it now it's like, and I'm not trying to be negative about it. I think there's so much that comes from it of like where we are now from where we were before, of like all these girls too who are learning how to put on makeup, but it's artistry. It's actually so pretty. And they're like doing these crazy things with eyeshadow. And then it's like an artistry thing. And I'm like, that probably would have never happened, right?
Mhm.
Like back in the day.
Like a self-expression.
A
type of thing,
self-expression, exactly. And I agree with you about where we have like in the media, in brands specifically, in retail brands like jeans, Levi's, even Skims, honestly, like Fenty Beauty, like a lot of those big brands who have started to be more inclusive and allow for like any body type to be considered within beauty standards, if you will. Like I
Mhm.
feel like we've are getting there, but at the same time, it's almost like over talked about. Like, why is it such a thing to begin
Mm.
with? Is in my
Yeah.
head. It's like why are
Yeah,
we
like if
coming
we're
to
still talking about it, it's still an issue.
correct?
Yeah, and one thing that, and I could be totally wrong about this, my perspective of it is that I think millennials, we all went through the younger years of, or like at least, teens of all of the, you see all the stuff online and like how you have to look and how you need to take care of your skin or dress or whatever. And we've started to get to where like, like whatever,
Yeah.
just like do your own thing.
Yeah.
But the younger generation is going through that same cycle that we went through,
Mm-hmm.
and it's been amplified by having like technology at your fingertips. Like I can pick up my phone and look up anything,
Mm-hmm.
any kind of makeup tutorial, or how I take care of my skin, or this is how I make my hair look good, things like that. And it's not anything against the people who post those videos.
No.
It's just that it's the way we've been conditioned to think about them.
Yeah.
Which is that, not appreciating, wow, she has a great skin, good for her. It's like, I have to look like that.
Right.
Because she looks like that and she has a lot of followers and gets a lot of attention for this. And I want to look like that too.
Yeah.
And it just like becomes this whole snowball effect. And again, it's not to say that we don't, as millennials, like still experience that or fall victim to.
Oh, I mean,
to
all the time. Yeah, I'm talking to
body
myself
stuff.
when I'm talking about this.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
But I think that, I guess, overall it has changed a bit. And it's hard though, like that's the thing. It's so weird because on one hand, I feel as though people have gotten more inclusive and more open to different like beauty standards. But then like the insecurities have gotten worse. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird.
It's a really weird thing. It's like they're trying to like backstep all the things that have been said, but at the same time, the judgment and all that is still there. It's very much still there. The insecurities are still there. The almost like forced insecurities are still there. Like it's very interesting to see that in our generation as well, and all the insecurities that we face when we're getting older, and wrinkles and stuff like that. And it's like, you're not supposed to have any wrinkles. Your face isn't supposed to move. And it's like, I feel like we're at the age of like the Botox era of like, look, I want to get snatched. I'm going to get Botox, blah, blah. And I have, straight up, I have. And I was just like, ooh, I do not like the way my face looks. But I didn't post about it, right? I didn't post about how I didn't like my face when there was Botox in it. And versus other people, they're like, the glow up, right? They're like, I've been doing Botox forever. It's such a glow up. And they have, and it looks fantastic. But that's not true for everybody. And there's so many situations of like getting botched, or like the filler get travels, or they get really sick from it. And it's like, we need to know the whole story.
Yeah.
In order to make an informed decision about ourselves. But again, you have to be able to have that self-awareness in yourself and being like, no, I'm good without it. Like, these people are telling me to get it because I have forehead wrinkles and I got these curl lines or whatever to make yourself look better. And it's like, but I tried it I didn't like it. And then that's what my self-awareness was about.
Yeah.
And then I had to reframe my mind and being like, I'm going to have these forever. It is what it is. Like, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But you have to have like a lot of self-confidence, and not in like an arrogant way, but like in a way where it's like you can't let those thoughts become intrusive,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah. You have to be able to make an informed decision for yourself, like you said. And that can be really hard. I think also we're all really afraid of aging.
Yes.
Like it's, I don't know, maybe it's just an American thing, but we're all so afraid of aging that we do everything in our power to continue to look young.
Yeah.
And we celebrate people who look really young.
Yeah.
And again, like industry stuff, I've seen way more things, like way more shows and movies that cast lead actors that are like older women and older men. And it's still like, I mean, they have a skill set. They are actors. They're really good at that. That doesn't, just because they don't look like young enough or they don't have work done,
Yes.
doesn't mean that they can't act. And
Right.
so it's like, it's refreshing to see just people who've naturally aged in the media a bit more, because it kind of reminds you like, oh yeah, there are people who are aging naturally.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
It's also okay to go get work done, like whatever you want to do.
Totally.
But you can't, like, you shouldn't be shaming people for wanting to just age, you know, like, and just like go through life.
Right, exactly. Like there's no you have to's. Like there's in any sense, in any way, there's never a you have to. It's always a like, because I want to, right?
Mhm.
Because I think it would, benefit me in X, Y, and Z. But it's never a you have to. Like, you got wrinkles, cool. You don't got wrinkles, also cool. Like, you can have both. Both can exist in the beauty world. Like, you can still be beautiful and have wrinkles. You can still be beautiful and, change something about yourself, and that's what makes you beautiful. That's what makes you feel beautiful, even though I'm sure you were before, but that makes you feel even more and more confident and gives you that self-confidence boost that you needed, right?
Mhm.
Both can exist in this world, but again, I think it's just the pressure of you have to look like this.
Yeah. And also with social media, there comes all these like comments that come through. So, people will post comments on videos that I watch, like a skincare video or whatever, and they'll be like pumping that person up. And so then that makes me feel like, oh, well, I want to get nice comments like this, so maybe I need to have skin like this. It's just this like weird psychological thing.
It's
But then on the other end of it, there's the people who hide behind their computers and say really mean things.
Yes.
Like there were some pictures of Sydney Sweetie that came out like in a bikini.
Yeah.
First of all, Sydney Sweetie is beautiful.
She's so
And
hot.
people who think that she is not pretty are insecure.
100.
Because she's beautiful.
Yes.
Like, and it was a photo of her, like she's doing this movie right now where she has to, I think she's playing a wrestler or a boxer, and she put on a ton of muscle.
Yeah.
Like she is ripped.
Hell
and these
yeah.
photos, people were commenting saying, ew, what happened to her? She's so fat. Like she's so gross. It was insane. It was insane. And then people are like fighting in the comments, like, how dare you? Like she's like, she looks amazing. She looks healthy. And it's just like, oh.
And you click on it, and it's this guy from like a hodunk town who like literally weighs 600 pounds or some shit. Okay, not to judge, but I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's always people who are really insecure who are making those comments that are really mean.
Yeah.
And also, I don't know who gave you the confidence to think that you're allowed to comment on people's
That's what it
bodies
is.
like that.
Yeah.
When you don't even know them.
Correct.
But the audacity people have.
Also, like, do you think you're an expert? Like, I'm an expert on this person's body? Like, so you're talking like you're their doctor.
Yeah.
Like, you're telling them that they look unhealthy and they look gross and blah, blah, blah. Like, they're, like, gonna die the next day. Like, you have no right to comment on anybody's shit. Period.
Yeah.
Period.
People are way too comfortable commenting on each
Those
other's
keyboard warriors are
appearances.
literal. Like, no. Why the energy that you're putting, the negative energy and the energy in general you're putting into commenting on these people's things and like looking at this photo and letting it affect you. Like I can't imagine like how you actually feel in life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then you're not only commenting on this person's body who you literally don't know or have any information about, you're also making a public comment that other people can see.
Right.
And then they start to think, well, if this person thinks this celebrity is fat and they look good in my eyes, like, am I fat? Like, because I don't look like that.
Exactly.
It's a ripple effect.
It's a ripple effect. And you don't even know this person, but you're seeing all these comments and you're like, and let's say that you look at this picture and that relates to you. You look at yourself the same way as you look at the picture because you're like, oh wow, I feel like I have the same kind of attributes. And then you see all these comments like just ripping this person apart, and now you're like, am I not pretty? Am I not like good enough? It's cyclical. It's cyclical. It's awful. And this is not just women. Like men go through this as well. Like 100%. Like people like, oh my god, ew, like he's gained weight, he's done this, he's done that, or like let himself go and blah blah blah. It's like it's both sides. I do think that women maybe get a little bit more flack a little bit, but I will say that it happens on both sides for sure. But again, it's the ripple effect. It's the like your one comment, maybe the one comment that triggers somebody else, and like it's unfair and it's not nice. Like, I don't understand why we're not nice to each other, genuinely.
Yeah.
I just talked shit about some guy in the Hodunk place.
You made him up.
I made him up. He wasn't real. There's actually, like, an Instagram guy that I follow. His name is Goob. Goob. And he's in the workout industry. And, like, him and his wife, I think it's his wife or his girlfriend. Ooh, I don't know. But they are, like, personal trainers and things like that, and his sole like content is him pointing out workout influencers that edit their photos, like that makes their body curve in, and he'll literally zoom in and being like, that wall isn't supposed to be curved. And he'll like literally call these people out. He'll tag them, he'll tag their sponsors, like he will literally like go to war with these people.
Dang.
And I'm
imagine being that person too, that you're a fitness influencer and you're still so insecure that you have to edit your photo and make your body look different.
Yeah.
That's like
so it's sad. It's really sad. And it's like, what makes you want to do that though? Right? Like what makes you feel like you need to look a certain way? Like you already got the sponsors, like you already have all these things and you're clearly working out, you're clearly fit, but like why can't you just jump on that no filter movement, you know?
Yeah,
like
it's just those deep-rooted insecurities.
Deep. And there's some posts, like comments on his post being like, you just ruined their life and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, my sole job is to show that these posts are not real. That these standards are not real.
Yeah, they're impossible.
And
these people are literally profiting off of you.
Correct.
Thinking that you can get the body that they made in Facetune.
Yes, like, exactly. That's not fair. Like that's just not okay. It's not. And I fully support it. And maybe like a little like he's putting all of his energy into like doing these things. But I also feel like if we, the people, do not like ban against these things and like actually try to help the next generation to like try to be more authentic and like be okay with just existing as they are, like who else is going to do it? It's not the brands, I'm gonna tell you that much. It ain't the media, I'm gonna tell you that much.
No, they're both gonna try to profit off you hardcore. So
yeah, exactly. Like they want money. It's all about the money at this point, like when it turns into things like that. So I'm like, keep doing the work, Goob. Keep doing it.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned this no filter movement though, and I don't know that I've seen that.
I think it's like I think it's honestly, I don't know where it started, but my brain is going to Pamela Anderson and not wearing any makeup at any of her things.
Oh, yeah. Okay, and her decision to just like F the beauty standards, like I'm not gonna wear makeup to this event.
Right, and she was the epitome of beauty at one point. right?
Yeah.
Like Pamela Anderson is like equals hot, equals beauty, equals this. And for her to just flip it on its head, like that's so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
To just be like, you know what? I've been put up to this standard and I've been living to it for so long. Like, fuck you guys.
Yeah. And she's so pretty.
She's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Like she's so pretty.
And
And
my skin, well, see, I'm getting stuck in it. I'm like, if my skin could look that good, like, wow. But again, now I'm comparing myself to Pamela Anderson. So no, but she is like absolutely gorgeous. And
Yeah.
it's super cool that she started this trend.
yeah.
Which, you know, does it even need to be a trend? Maybe it should just be like a normal thing.
That's
that,
the
like people
thing.
don't have to wear makeup if they don't want to.
Right. Like, do I have to put a hashtag no filter on it? It's like this should just be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why is there a filter and all that stuff? Even though I will say, oh my god, I just got a TikTok, as you know,
Mhm.
literally like last week,
Yeah.
for the first time ever, and they have all of these filters on there, and I put one on, and I was like, damn, I look good with this filter on, but I was just like, that's not even my face.
Mhm.
Like, it literally changed my face, like the way my nose was shaped, the way my like chin was shaped, and I was like, this is actually terrifying.
Yeah.
Like, I got scared about it, and I was like, oh shit, like this is really weird. Like,
Freaked me out.
it freaked me out.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, like I cannot be okay with this. So I was just like, no.
Yeah, yeah. I try not to use filters. I don't Facetune photos. I do definitely struggle with feeling like I don't look pretty enough without makeup, because even then it's just even the no filter movement, or like when I see people post videos and photos without makeup, I'm like, that's how you look without makeup? Dang, like, oh, like I don't look like that without makeup.
And it's like, what if you do? You're just like, you're literally conditioned to like look at all of the little stuff that nobody else notices,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And I feel like it's just all like a circle of just beating yourself up and beating yourself up and beating yourself up.
Yeah, and it just becomes this question of, how do you get out of that?
Yeah.
How do you become comfortable with who you are and what you look like when there's so much stuff, just everywhere you look, there's reminders of what you don't look like.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you feel like outside of like social media and stuff, and people that you know, and maybe even family, like coming from your childhood, like have you felt like you've brought anything to your adult life?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. My therapist knows all about this. Yeah, I mean,
She's
like
got notes.
I have deep-rooted insecurities.
Yeah. We all do.
Some of which I think, yeah, maybe is related to like family stuff, and some that I think just like along the way started to take root.
Mm-hmm.
My mom is an incredible human and had a really rough childhood.
Yeah.
And her mom cared a lot about what she looked like, and it was passed down to my mom, which was then passed down to my sisters and I. And I had a lot of like insecurities about, which is insane to think now, like my physical insecurities that I had back then. But like my mom has a weird thing about weight.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to set some hard boundaries, because I was like, okay, I can't, like every time I go to your house, I'm not going to weigh myself. Like that doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
I don't care about how much I weigh. I care about how I feel, and if I feel healthy. And so I had to set a boundary in which I would just say, you know what, I don't know how much I weigh, and I really don't care either. Like, it's just not something that's important to me.
Right.
And like that was tough though. Like
It's heavy, and also it's also your mom, right? And it's also family.
Yeah.
And you're like, it's like, I know this is unhealthy for me to continue to do this, and like, how do I protect myself from like falling into these, generational things that may happen? And like, that's a super strong thing to like have to go through and like put your boundaries in. So
Yeah.
snaps.
Yeah. yeah, it's like it's tough. It is weird to think about, like, because now a lot of my insecurities are with like my personality. Like literally, I told my I told my therapist a couple weeks ago. I was like, I don't even know. This is gonna get dark. I told my therapist, like, I don't know why people tolerate me because I can barely tolerate myself.
Oh my gosh, no,
And-
I can guarantee you nobody thinks that, but I
But
get
that's
it.
the thing, and that's like
Yeah.
that's the stuff that you like. Those are the deep rooted things that like. I mean, it's like you don't even know where it started.
Yeah, it's
And
true.
but it just takes over everything
Yeah,
and runs your life.
Yeah.
And like I'm working through a lot of that, obviously.
I mean, that's so
But-
important to know, like, just to being aware of it and knowing that it doesn't work for you and be able to work on it. Like, that's like I'm not even step one. That's so many steps in. Just to
Mhm.
being aware of how these comments make you feel.
Yeah.
And to almost create, I just laughed because I thought about it in my head first, creating space for that. And I've literally jumped to
The wicked thing.
The
Holding
wicked thing.
space for the yeah.
holding space for that. Like, that's where that comes from, by the way. That's like a therapist term. But it's true. It's like being able to like disassociate yourself from like that behavior of like weighing yourself before like at family functions. Like they're not meaning to do it to you on purpose. They're really not. It's almost like
It's like they're doing it because they care about you.
correct.
And so it doesn't register as like this is an unhealthy thing that you're doing or that you're talking about.
Correct.
And like I know that my family loves me and would never like intentionally do anything to like
100%.
tear me down. Aside from like, you know, like my sisters and I go at each other and we make jokes, but
It's true.
but yeah, like it's hard to recognize that, wow, you know, this is something that has been going on a long time. Like it's actually not normal.
yeah, it's not serving me. It's not normal. It doesn't like that doesn't work for me. And again, that's kind of like that's literally the first thing is just to recognize how it makes you feel and recognize that it's not working for you. Like in my family, and I think it comes from like the Latin culture. My family is El Salvadorian, very Latin, and it's almost like you have to be a little chunky to be healthy. And
Like full figure kind of like, yeah, I get what you mean.
exactly, yeah. Sorry, that was probably a little.
No. I just meant like
Yeah.
yes, I get what you're saying.
I was like, I'm not trying to be mean. I was just saying, but in this culture, it's if you are on the thinner side, it means equals unhealthy. And me growing up, I was a fucking twig. I was a twig growing up, and they're like, eat more, like you're not healthy enough. And like in my head, like I'm like, man, I mean, I never ate more because like I literally physically couldn't eat more. Like, and I was also a super picky eater, so like I literally only ate like breadsticks and chicken nuggets for like basically my whole like childhood, honestly. And so like I just didn't. And those types of things, it's like your grandma would mention it, your other family members would mention it, and like she's so skinny to like my mom, or like I just overhear these types of things, and it's like, why are we even talking about that in general? Like why are we even talking about it, right? Like obviously I've gone to the doctor. My mom is like a doctor. Every year you go get your physical, and I'm clearly healthy. So it's like, why are we continually talking about this? And that's such a cultural thing.
Well, and it's hard because they're making the comments because they care about you, but it's also like, why are you making comments as like a child's body?
Right.
Yeah. A kid's gonna kid.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's not like it's not like they were trying to,
No.
tear you down or make you feel like you
Less
didn't
than.
look a certain way.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
And it's tough though, because that stuff does follow you. And
It does follow
affects
you.
in different ways.
Totally. Like, I mean, I definitely had a different body type than all of my aunts. Like, I was the only girl too for a long time growing up in a sea of cousins, of male cousins.
Yeah.
And so, like, I feel like a lot of attention was on me because I was the only girl for a long time. And so, like, boys will be boys and they do whatever they want to do. And so it's just a lot of attention on me, it was honestly, like, it doesn't bother me now that I think about it it's just, it doesn't bother me at all. I know who I am and it's fine. But again, it's
Mhm.
like you have to learn that confidence. And I think my family also, which is so funny, like they talk about the weight, but they also instilled a lot of confidence in me at the same time. So again, it's like when you think about it and you're like, ooh, I can see how that was, may have not been the most appropriate thing to say about a kid. At the same time, they're like, never take, shit from anybody.
Mhm.
Like, you're smart, you're driven, you're strong. Like they would instill those kind of aspect, like ideals as
Yeah.
well. And so it was like, it's a very delicate balance, right? And I think those are the types of things that I wish we would focus more on, instead of saying like, you're so pretty. It's like, no, you're so strong, you're so driven. Like those are beautiful qualities about a person. That's not about appearance.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I wish that people would focus on more. And of course, it's like being healthy and being active and all that is all great. And I think that there's aspects to that, but I think we should definitely focus more on like values.
Yeah, exactly. And I do think that when you're like a kid and a teenager, it's just so, I don't know. I feel like kids these days are built different and they will attack your character. But back then when I was like a kid and a teenager, like it was just easy to attack the way you looked.
Yeah.
It was just
Oh
like
my
an
God,
easy jab.
yeah.
And some of my insecurities came from those little jabs that, that one boy never thought about again, but I thought about it every day for years,
Okay, wait. Was that in middle school? Or was that
like middle school and high school? I think it definitely started in middle school.
middle school it's at
Kids are mean in
Mean.
middle school.
oh my, I would never go back to middle school. Like if somebody was like, would you go back, like for $1 million, would you go back to middle school? Absolutely fucking not. Absolutely Fucking not. No. They're so mean. Like it's like your turning point in your bodies. You're going through puberty, and like people age so differently. Not people, like the puberty levels and like
Yeah.
aging is so different. It's like, someone could be full in it or like just got through it, and somebody could just be starting it. And you're like, the bodies, if you just look at a sea of like middle schoolers, everyone's bodies are just so rangy, and that's because of puberty, right?
Mhm.
And so it's like, why can't we all just be okay with what's going on? But no, kids are mean.
Yeah, kids are so mean. Like people used to make fun of my nose and it made me really insecure about my nose. And I thought I wanted a nose job for years. Like being flat chested, like, which now I'm like, whatever. I can wear so many tops.
Literally,
so many tops.
that's probably my number one thing that I've like gone through in life. Is like, oh my God, that's actually a really good segue. I'm gonna take it real quick.
Yeah.
In middle school, this girl was like, you stuff your bras, like, but like literally would just like tell people in large like areas that I stuff my bra and that like my boobs aren't even as big as they like show. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm wearing a padded bra for sure. Like I know that's a fact. Like
100%.
100% that I'm not stuffing it with tissue paper, but it definitely is a padded bra, and I probably don't need one. But again, like I took that to my adulthood straight up. Like I'm just like, am I not enough? Blah blah blah. And like the boys will only like girls with boobs, and so it's like it literally transferred for my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically that. And now as I'm older, I'm literally like, I could give no shits. And it's like, I'm totally like, you dress for your body now. Like, I feel like you didn't get that opportunity to be like, no, like you're good. And like you just like, maybe you can't wear that top where that girl has a different body type than you, but you can wear this and you still look great. Like where is that? That's just not a correct top for you, but we can still have the same vibe, we can still have the same look, and wearing this, like that needs to change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you actually you made me remember like an embarrassing story about being flat chested. Okay, so like I started going through puberty pretty young. I started going through puberty when I was like 10.
Oh wow.
And like my body started changing a little bit, and then it like stopped fast. So I, I started to grow boobs and it stopped very
Yeah.
quickly. And I was in gymnastics.
Yeah.
I had to be like 10 or 11 at that time. And probably 10. And I wanted to, like, I was wearing like my gymnastics tank top and I wanted to make my non-existent boobs look big as a 10-year-old. This is the sad part. Thinking back. But I stuffed my little trainer bra with toilet paper before leaving the house to go to gymnastics. And then when we were doing our warm-ups, I did a round off and some of the toilet paper flew out of my tank top onto the ground and everybody saw. And then I was just like, first of all, devastated, humiliated, like my life was over.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, no, it was Kleenex because like I have a runny nose. I'm just like, and they are all laughing at me. And it was brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal. And after that, I was like, I need a push-up bra as a 10-year-old.
Oh my.
Like,
but it starts young. Like, it doesn't matter what age you're
yeah.
at. It does not matter at all.
Mhm.
0%. And it's like, even from like that little, you take it and you run with it. And it's like that one memory, like you remember that vividly as a 10-year-old. You know, like those are the
I thought I
types of
buried
things.
that, but it came back up.
No. Oh my God. I'll share an embarrassing story too, and I'll never fucking forget it. And it's not necessarily about insecurities, but it's more of like dealing with an embarrassing moment when you're a child.
Yeah.
So oh my God, I haven't told a soul this, honestly.
Oh no.
Oh my God. So I was at a cheer camp. Okay. And
I know you did cheer.
oh my God, yeah, I did cheer.
Wow. Okay.
But I think I only went to I think I went to 2 like classes.
Yeah.
And it was it was the second class, and of course, like I was a little girl, so like I was the flyer, right?
Mhm.
And like I think I had to pee, or if I was nervous or something like that. But I literally, like, they hoisted me into the air. There was people underneath me, and I literally like peed a little.
Wait, you peed on someone?
I'm crying. I'm literally like, that is devastating. I'm devastated. Literally devastated. And like my parents were like, they were working, so we had a babysitter. And I was like, put me down. And I visibly remember the drip on the person's shoulder.
Wait, did they know?
No, they didn't know. They didn't know. But I was like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. And I literally ran. I packed up my shit. I ran. I called the babysitter. I was like, you need to come get me right now. And she goes, why? What's wrong? And I was like, I'm not telling you. I'm not telling anybody. And I literally never told someone. And I never went back. And my mom was
straight up never said this to anyone.
no, this is the first time on the pod. Here it is. Wow. Oh my God. My husband doesn't even know the story. Oh my God. It was one of the most traumatizing experiences I've ever had.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that's tough.
So, as a kid, like, right now, I think it'd probably be funny if I did it again.
You'd be like, ooh, sorry, the muscles aren't holding up like they used to.
Right? Oh, no. But it's like, oh my God. Yeah, that was a good story.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, was that like the last time you went to cheer camp?
Oh, yeah, that was the second time and the last.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think I'd be done too after that.
I couldn't do it. I was out. I was absolutely out. Not happening. It's gone.
Did you have to deal with anything like body image issues? Like, because I feel like when I was younger, like cheerleading was very much for super fit, super pretty girls.
You know, I didn't feel that too much in cheer. Where I felt that the most was when I was doing dance, like at a dance studio. Because you have to, like, you don't have to be, like, back that up. There is a expectation, a nonverbal expectation that you have to look a certain way at dance when you're doing these like studio dance classes. Like I
Mhm.
never felt good enough to be part of a dance studio. It's like it's a whole thing to be a part of a dance studio. I don't know about nowadays, but before it's like it's very clicky and like the girls that were able to do the splits and doing all these crazy things and super flexible and like long and lean, like you literally were put in positions like in the dance based on your body type.
Oh,
Yeah, and what
wow.
you can and can't do.
Oh, like best dancers in the front,
Mm-hmm.
worst in the back kind of situation.
Yep. And I was never in the front ever.
Mm-hmm.
And like my body type I was not a flexible person ever. Like I've never been a flexible person. No matter how hard I worked, I'm just not that flexible. And like I felt really insecure about that. And I always like I'm pear shaped and I'm happy about it now. But before as a kid, like when you had like thicker legs as a dancer, they'd always put you in hip hop. They wouldn't put you in ballet. They wouldn't put you in like sometimes they put you in jazz, but like they're like you're a hip hop gal. You know what I mean? And you're just
Yeah.
like, what if I wanted to try other things? But no, it doesn't like they put you in based on your body type.
Yeah.
At least that's what I experienced. And so to me, I'm like, okay, well, I guess I can only be this. I can only do that.
Or like I can't be a professional dancer because I look this way.
Yeah.
Which you're a really good dancer, by the way. Yeah. So you
got
don't need
rhythm.
in dance classes.
I got rhythm. I got rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember wanting to be like a choreographer at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like was that middle school? Or was that high school? No, definitely middle school. Like we have a gym, right? In middle school. And I don't know why or how, but I remember literally choreographing.
Yeah, choreographing.
Yeah, a dance with like 6 other girls in my class to a Sierra song.
You and me, or me and you, is that what it's called?
That's Cassie.
Damn,
I know.
I'm embarrassed.
Damn. So I was like, fact check. No, oh god, I have to remember this Sierra song. I actually can remember a little bit of the dance too. But like we performed it, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is so fun!" And the girls got it. Like people were super into it, and they were like, "Wow, you really know what you're doing!" And I felt so validated by that.
Mm-hmm.
But then I just felt like I could never move forward because of just like I'm not allowed to do those. Just wasn't allowed based on my body type. Like I couldn't make dances. I had to do other people's dances, and other people's dances my body wasn't allowing me to do.
Yeah.
So,
and when you look back and you start to realize like all of the times that you limited yourself because you thought you had to look or be a certain way in order to do it, like those start to stack up. And you're like, dang, I made so many decisions based off of some like impossible standard. And I could have just like, I wish I had the confidence back then to just push through and keep doing it. Yeah. Do you like as an adult, like what has been the thing that has helped you move beyond these insecurities? Like, is there something specific, or did you just have a moment where it clicked that, oh, like, why am I thinking this way? Or,
it's actually funny. I haven't actually thought about that. I think I've just always been a big fuck you person. Forever. Like, I think that it's 100% my personality of being like, you're telling me no? Fuck you.
Yeah.
And I don't get told no a lot, but I think the only way I've been told no is if I tell myself no and then I won't do it. But again, I don't necessarily like reflect back on where that no is coming from. But I think in my older, like now that I'm older and things like that, I can like jog back of being like, oh, that came from that. Okay, like let me move forward and let me move on. But I think it does still kind of like I have a hitch in my moments of like, do I do it? Do I not do it? Okay, let's just do it. Right. So I do have those moments, but I don't necessarily have like a pep talk about it or like talk myself out of it or have like a strategy behind it. It's just more of like, taking in that thought and like letting it be a thought, you know? So, and not necessarily acting on that thought.
yeah.
It's kind of what I've learned. So, and that's years and years and years and years and years of therapy.
Yeah. So therapy is a big one that helped
Yeah,
you.
actually, maybe that's it. I was like, no, I decided that spending thousands of dollars on therapy is worth it for me
Yeah.
to be able to continue being myself and being my best self and confident and whatever. But I think I've always had confidence. It's more of it. I think it stemmed from anger, honestly. You know,
Like only I get to say things about myself.
yeah.
You don't.
So I'm like, you can just shut the
you.
fuck up.
Yeah.
I can say bad things about myself all I want, but you don't get to say anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you? Have you kind of learned things in the past that?
I mean, I'm in therapy now.
Yeah.
And so that's helping.
Yes.
There were some insecurities that just, I think with age, I was like, whatever. Like, I really don't care about this anymore. For the example of like, I felt like I was flat chested growing up. And then as an adult, I was like, whatever, dude. Like, I could care less. And some of those, I don't really know how I moved beyond that.
Yeah.
But I think more recently, I had this realization or this like, punching the mic a little bit. Sorry guys, I punched the mic. But I had this kind of conversation with myself and I was like, how sad is it that I've spent 30 years of my life, like I'm 30 years old, and I've spent all this time not liking myself and not thinking I'm good enough, not thinking that I, am up to the beauty standards that, I think I should be living up to.
Yeah.
Like, how sad.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't been able to accept myself my whole life.
Right.
Like, why am I wasting my time?
And
Why
energy.
I'm wasting my time and energy just being so negative about myself all the time when there's so many amazing qualities that I have. And there's so many things that I could just put my time and energy into instead.
Totally.
And when you're really insecure, it affects all of your relationships.
Yeah.
Because you're always responding to people from those insecurities.
100%.
Of like, oh, like my boyfriend's gonna leave me because I'm not likable or I'm not pretty enough or whatever. And
Yeah, like they're gonna go cheat on me.
They're like, no, actually, like the thing that's annoying is how insecure you are about it. Like, I don't care.
Right.
And
that's the thing about, and I don't know if this is true for you, and of course it's like not all on your partner or your husband or whoever you decide to spend your life with. It's like not to have that all on them of like them supposed to be giving you validation and things like that. But it is a really big part of like spending your life with somebody and having that self-worth is like a partner who like truly accepts you. And like when those insecurities do come up, they give you the validation of like, that's in your head. I never thought about that. Like you're this to me, you're perfect the way that you are, instead of like feeding into these insecurities, right? Or like having a partner who's like, yeah, maybe, or like even not shutting it down. Like I do appreciate my partner for doing that, for my husband to do that. It's just like being able to like shut those things down.
Yeah.
When he knows it's absolutely bonkers, and I'm sure it drives him nuts to continue to do that. But again, it's important to have a partner who supports you in everything that you do and any decision that you make, and like also being able to put you in your place when you're having those, intrusive thoughts.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And my husband is super supportive of me and is always like, talking me up and trying to boost my confidence.
Yeah.
But there's balance, right? Like I can't just depend on him all the time to give me confidence. Like that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And we've had to have hard talks like that where he's been like, I feel this way about you.
Right.
Like the way that you're thinking, like I don't know where it comes from, but like it's not the reality. But I also can't sit here and constantly try to validate you.
100%. Yeah. It's
Um,
exhausting on their end. Like, I've already freaking told you. My
Yeah.
feelings haven't changed, and they're not gonna.
Right. Yeah. And so, no, I'm very lucky that my husband is so supportive of me and always wants me to feel good about myself, and will also just like have those hard conversations with me.
Totally.
And yeah, I mean, they are hard, but they're necessary. And
Yeah.
it's just because he cares about me. you know?
Totally.
So
And I feel like, and when, like, almost sometimes where I'm like, he's being like too, like, my husband's being too nice, and like, and I'm like, are you just saying that to say it? You know?
right.
But like, when I know it's true, it's like, I'll like come out in an outfit, and I was like, I need your true opinion. And he'll be like, it's not working. And then I'm like, great. So then I know he's telling me the truth at other times. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like, if he's willing to like tell me like point blank, nah, you gotta change that, I'll be like, fair enough, I get it. You know?
Mhm.
So I think that there's having that vulnerability and that openness of just having those conversations of like body positivity with your partner is huge.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah. It's important that they understand like where you're at with it
Mhm.
and how they can support you, and also like having understanding like where they need to also set their boundaries. Like, oh no, I'm not gonna do this again. Not gonna do this again.
Feel like, remember, this is the 100th time that
Yeah.
I've said this to you.
yeah. Yeah.
But I think that also leads to like intimacy and being, you know, open with your partner and like all of that. It's like you can't feel good in intimacy without feeling good about yourself.
Yeah.
It's so vulnerable, and it's so like it's such an intimate, obviously intimacy is intimate thing, and you really have to, like, it's, you're opening yourself to
Yeah.
lots of feelings and emotions in that time, and it's like you have to be able to have that confidence with yourself and that openness with your partner and all those things.
Yeah, it definitely requires a certain level of vulnerability to like be intimate with anyone really. And then like if you don't feel up to par, or you don't, you think that you're having like a bad week in terms of your self-confidence, like
Yeah.
that will totally dictate
Boom.
everything.
Yeah.
And so again, like what I was saying earlier, the way that you feel about yourself is like you will respond to people, and what's the word, like you'll respond to people from that place.
Yes.
I've been through that one with my husband,
Yeah.
of like him being like, well, are you like, where does this come from, dude? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
And it's not fair because he has never ever once given me any reason to doubt him or his affection towards me.
Right.
And I just like, it was like made up in my head.
Yeah.
That's where the neuroticism really comes in. Cynical about everything.
No. It's again, it's a pile up of all the things that's ever happened, that's ever said, that's ever stuck with us, that's ever, made us choose a different path in life. Like all of these things, it just adds up. It adds up. So how are we all not fucking nuts?
Yeah.
A little bit, I guess we all are.
Yeah.
A little bit nuts in our own ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think that, okay, so listeners, watchers, have a challenge. I think you and I are both actively working on our insecurities and what we see online, and trying to,
tune it out,
and just like coming to terms with like who we are and loving ourselves for how we are.
Yeah.
And I just think that, you're however many years old, and you don't need to be spending your time and energy thinking so poorly of yourself. So start on the journey.
Yes. The positivity journey. Just turn those thoughts and then almost like think of something else that you love about yourself.
Yeah, and there's so many ways to do it. I have a friend who she got this, I think, from like a celebrity, but she has a picture of herself as a little girl on her mirror. And so she looks at it to just like remember every day to just be kinder to like that kiddo. you know, like be kind to
Yeah.
that kid right there
Oh, I
because she
love
needs it.
that.
And so like that's what my friend does. Oh my
That was
gosh.
almost catastrophic.
My Yeti water bottle almost fell off the table, and that it probably would have made a hole in the ground. This thing is so giant and heavy. Anyway, so but yeah, my friend, yeah, she does that. She
That's really
kind of
sweet.
almost has like a conversation with her younger self every day.
Yeah.
And that's what works for her. And I was like, dang, maybe I should try that.
Yeah. Like find what works for you to get out of that zone, to get out of that spiral. Like you have to be able to bring yourself out of that.
Yeah.
And so whatever that means for you, but I love that. What a cute
Yeah.
challenge.
I know. I challenge y'all.
Yeah.
And you can look up ways to do it. I saw a video the other day of this girl who filmed herself actively talking herself like off a cliff. And like she was like in the bathroom talking to herself. And basically it was like she was showing an example of how you can have a conversation with yourself, say like I'm mad at myself, or I'm like embarrassed about this thing, and this is why. And also like when I leave this room, it's not gonna follow me. Yeah. When I leave this room, it's done.
Yeah.
And so that's what works for her.
Yeah.
And so, you know, there's a
love
lot of
that.
ways to focus on it, and like we're all too amazing as human beings to just like dislike ourselves our whole lives.
No, we got to turn this around. We got to turn the ship around.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and hopefully like the industry will continue to evolve
Mhm.
and get better.
Yeah.
And people online will stop saying really mean things behind their computer screen because they're clearly never going to say it in person.
Correct.
Yeah.
Amen.
Amen. Okay, wait. So we don't have a hot take today.
No, we don't. But we have a game.
Jess has a fun game.
Okay, so talking about all of like body positivity and sexual intimacy positivity, Jamie and I are into romance books, and I had a funny like just epiphany about this game, and I think it was off of a TikTok that I saw where these two ladies were reading their Kindles while their husbands were watching football, and it was listening to NFL announcers and like the crazy things that they say that could also be sexual. And then so the game is NFL or smut.
Oh. Okay,
Okay.
so is it like
A quote
a quote and
from an announcer or a quote from a book.
okay, so you know
I know.
what it is.
But
and
you
I
have to guess.
if
Yep.
it's NFL or smut.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Okay, are you ready? We'll do a few.
Okay.
Okay. The first one is finishes with the tip.
NFL announcer?
Yes. NFL announcer. And I'll post the YouTube that I found all of these NFL announcers. This is all real stuff that
Ooh,
they've
yeah,
said.
we'll link it.
Okay. NFL announcer. That's a good one. Okay. Blown away by his hands.
NFL announcer.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Okay. Oh my God.
Like why? What does he say? What was the context?
I don't know. Okay. You're going to want to hold on.
Smut?
Yes. Okay. I put the books on here too if you're into it. It's
Ooh.
Don't Hex and Drive by Juliet Cross.
Okay.
Okay. I'll make sure you're ready.
Smut.
So smut. That's How to Misbehave by Ruthie Knox. Okay. Okay. He has huge thighs.
I don't know why, but it's an NFL announcer for sure.
You're good at this. Yes. Oh my God. Okay, next one. He loved me constantly spanking him.
Like my inclination is smut, but like what if it was an NFL announcer? Smut?
No. It was, oh my God, it
Wait,
was.
say that again.
Okay, he loved me constantly spanking him.
He loves me constantly spanking him. And this
Yeah.
was an NFL announcer.
Yeah, so it was like it wasn't okay, let me clarify. It wasn't an announcer. It was like one of those
Oh, the pregame show?
pregame show. Yeah, it was a quarterback who was saying when their hands are underneath for like the hike, that he's like, he likes me constantly spanking him.
You know what? What I would give to know what happens in those locker rooms.
Guys, I'm just saying. My pause is saying it all. Okay. Okay. It's too good to be a mistake.
Smut.
Yeah, smut. Okay. Then rode him hard.
NFL announcer.
100%. Okay. Someone's gonna get that gobbler.
NFL announcer.
Yes.
You know how I'm good at this? Because NFL announcers, they're not poetic enough with it.
See, that's it. That's how you
They're not
know.
poetic enough.
But this is crazy. Okay, now I'm just gonna read NFL announcers because it's freaking funny. Because that's all I had for books. Powerful from the waist down. What?
Oh my gosh.
Hammered by that penetration.
No.
Yeah, actually.
Hammered by. Okay, like in what world are you saying penetration on a live broadcast and it has to do with football?
I can we find other words?
Like how does one get penetrated on the field?
It's overall it's too much.
Yeah.
This is too much. Okay, hold on. Last one. Oh, that's a big load. These NFL announcers need a new job, and that's probably like
Do you think they know what they're saying, or they're actually just so into it and do not realize that they are saying some crazy stuff?
a part of me can't believe that they don't know. When you say hammered by that penetration, how do you not stop and realize what the fuck you just said?
Yeah, what?
So, ladies who are maybe not that into football, or men, I don't know, whatever, and listen to these announcers, you guys. It is hysterical. I've actually caught a few, like
Wild.
watching live TV.
Yeah.
It's actually insane.
Wow.
So funny.
So you can, watch football and also be in a romance novel, apparently.
You know what? If you just sit back and listen.
It's like an audiobook.
Yeah. It's basically an Audible. I mean,
That was good.
that was a funny one.
That
good.
was wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I need to look up these videos and understand the context of why they
The
were
thing
saying
is,
that.
there is no context. It's this football is the same thing. They move the ball around, they throw the ball, they don't catch it, they fall, they tackle. There's no need for these words. There's no need. Everyone knows what you're saying. Use normal words.
Ugh. They're just
But
trying to
it
be
is-
descriptive.
Yeah.
Well,
Maybe a little.
Well, they are.
Yeah,
They
they
sure
are.
descriptive.
They are. For what? I don't know, but yeah, they're descriptive.
Oh, that was a good one. I love
Yeah.
that. Okay.
Good game. Good game.
Good game. Good game. Well, thank you all for joining us today for our episode on body positivity, self-confidence. all
Yeah,
the
that was
things.
it was a heavy one, I think, but also it's always needed. We're the type of folks that just kind of we're gonna talk about the hard stuff too, not just about all the fun stuff, but the
Yeah.
hard stuff too.
Yeah, because we overthink the hard stuff as well as overthinking the easy stuff.
100%.
So yeah, I mean, it was a good one. And I think that we're gonna have a lot more probably conversations about a lot.
Yeah,
of
this
stuff.
is not going to be the last, difficult, topic that we'll address, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's time to move on. It's time to be a better version of yourself.
yes, let's level up, ladies and gentlemen. Let's level up.
All right, we'll see you next time.
Bye.